Fear is an integral component in our lives when we are feeling stuck. And this highlight video contains perhaps my favorite key takeaway from the Unstuck Seminar, which is all about supporting people to feel unstuck and to build lives that they love. And this concept is thinking about fear as an invitation. So get ready to learn about how to overcome fear when you're feeling stuck in life.
Most commonly and at the root of it is fear. And I think it's because we actually have maybe a wrong relationship or understanding of what fear is. And what I mean by that is fear can come out in different ways. Imposter syndrome. What if they find out I'm not as together as I want to be, or as polished as my website makes me look, or whatever? What if I don't have enough experience to qualify me? All of these things that really are bound in fear. And I think we have this idea that the people on the platforms in front of us who are writing books, who are doing things in the world, did it unafraid. And they let the litmus test be, well, when I'm not afraid, when I'm motivated enough, when I'm X enough, like then I will be able to get this out of me or move toward this thing. When in reality, maybe fear isn't the test that means you're not ready, but instead it's the invitation to say, like, you are. Like, maybe fear, and Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this in her book Big Magic. She talks about how fear will always be in the car because it's part of keeping us safe, but it can't ever be in the driver's seat. And sometimes it's going to sit next to a shotgun and it's really going to talk us through some things, but sometimes it takes a seat in the back. It doesn't get to say anything or pick any of the music, because we can only go towards a vision that we're actually moving toward. And if we're letting fear drive, fear's always looking in the rearview mirror. We're trying to project too far ahead and pretend it knows what's going to happen if we step out or if we move toward this thing that we really want to do. So instead of going, well, until I have enough credentials, until I have this perfected persona, which never happens, by the way. If people really listen to actual speakers who will go there with you, they'll tell you they still have to do it afraid. So we think about, if we reach this point, we're going to be set, and there's not going to be any fear. There's not going to be any of these nuanced conversations and internal battles that we have to have. But instead, like, what if the fear also gets to be exciting? Because there's another piece there too. When we actually have the levels of different changes in our brain, fear and excitement actually look the exact same on a neurological level. The only difference between it is the meaning that we attach to it. So I think, again, if we change the narrative around what fear means, that, oh, I can't go there because I'm not X, instead of going, ooh, that feels a little scary. I wonder what's the invitation on the other side of this. So really changing that relationship.
I love that. Fear as an invitation. That's perfect. I feel like as well with fear, sometimes it can be so sneaky that we don't actually realize that that is what is stopping us. It might feel like a wall. We might feel like we're stuck. We might feel like we can't move forward, and we might not realize why. And we have a million reasons, because it's, we don't have enough money yet. We don't have enough qualifications. We have a million reasons why we can't do it. But sometimes it's hard for us, I think, to identify that is fear. How do you tell people that is fear when they don't realize that's what's stopping them? How do you make them realize that wall that their brain is creating is their brain functioning from fear, and it's your brain doing its jobs? Don't get down on yourself here. Don't be negative. Be happy that your brain is doing such a great job, but it's not exactly helpful. And I've been thinking more about is this a helpful thought or not? Is this something that you need to listen to? Is this something that's holding you back? But I think just the fact that knowing fear is there and knowing fear is stopping you, there's real power in that, because sometimes when we're stuck, we don't realize that the wall is fear around us.
Yeah. Another way to identify too, to know if you're scared, is to pay attention to how you feel in your body. There was an exercise that sometimes I use with my own clients from a book called I Hope I Screw This Up by Kyle Cease, which is amazing. And there's an exercise where he has you go through and write down all of your desires. Like, you know, if I was expanded, fully expressed, all of these things, and it's written out way more eloquently than I'm putting it out here. And you go through and you like really like it, let yourself go there. And you put it on like a half the side of the page. So you're going to leave another column. So on like the left side, you're going to put your expanded. Then on your right side, and you pay attention to how your body feels like excited, revved up. Then on the right side, you write all the reasons why you can't have those things. And when you go through that exercise, you feel your body contract and get really tight. And so that's another way too, to start training yourself to feel like, how do I feel when I'm feeling supported and expanded and in possibility, versus how do I actually feel in my body? I feel tight. I feel confined. I feel scared. I feel all of these things. You'll feel that compression almost like on your chest. So that's another way to tell, am I moving in possibility, or am I moving in fear? Yeah. And or being held back in fear.
I find it hard to find strength in that when you're in the moment. You know, when some people, you know, wisely people can say to you, you know, this, you'll be better for this. And when you're heartbroken or you're struggling or you're upset in your job or whatever, it doesn't feel great. But those annoying people always turn out to be true. Right. Wise advice is always true.
Yes, there's going to be beauty in the ashes. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to come to a barbecue and I wasn't expecting for my life to go up in flames. Thank you very much. Yeah.